Welcome back to our channel. Hi, how are you? So we're Jenny and Jason Photography. We are Jenny and Jason. We are a real couple, and we're here in Indiana near Chicago. We run a real business, and we're here to talk to you about small business of photography, professional photography, and also freelancing. And there's a difference between the two, which is kind of important to know. We are a small business, meaning that we are like any other brick and mortar store that you've been to, like a small mom and pop business. We have checkbooks with our business name on them. We have obviously a bank account with that. We have our logo on things. We have a website. We pay taxes as a business. Whereas a freelancer, Jason can explain that to you.
Yeah, so the other thing that is different about what we do is, as a physical business, we collect sales taxes and things like that. As a freelancer, you're just working directly with different businesses all the time. I mean, sometimes you'll be doing a few jobs with a particular business, but you're always working with someone else. You're an independent entity. They pay you in a different way.
You can also be a freelancer and do portrait photography and different things of that matter. It does require many of the same things as our small business does. So we're actually going to get into those now. The cost of doing business and the cost of photography is actually pretty high, which is a con that we would say. For both a freelancer and a small business of photography, you're going to have to pay, somewhere between $1,000 and $2,000 just for your initial items, such as your camera, your lenses, tripod, a light, things like that. And it only gets more expensive as you become a small business.
The further you get into it, you'll need more things, lights, computers, software to deal with things. There's a lot of costs that people don't really take into account.
Don't think that you have to go get like Apple products or you have to get a certain camera or things like that, but do learn about these items to find out what would best suit your needs. And maybe you want to start with the best things so you don't have to pay for more cameras in the future or more computers in the future. Other costs are definitely everything like the gear that we just said, but Photoshop is a monthly subscription. The lowest cost is about $10. Right now we're at a $60 a month subscription, but there is a $10 a month that has Photoshop and Lightroom. But that does still cost you $120 a year. And if you're not making money off of it yet, if you're just practicing on your friends as models, that's still money that, you have to take into consideration. Other things that you can kind of avoid the cost on if you're a freelancer are paying for ad space and things like that. You don't have to worry about it as much, but it does take a lot of time and energy. A website, you can get a free website such as Wix, but we do pay for our website. So you have to pay for your domain if you want like something. Ours is jennyandjasonphoto.com. And we had to pay GoDaddy in the beginning, a flat fee, and then we pay monthly for our website, $20 a month. So right now you've already seen that monthly we are paying $80 a month. And there are other prices as well.
And then for us, one of our largest monthly costs is actually for advertising. And advertising doesn't necessarily have to be a thing that you pay for, but what we do with the wedding side of things, it really is kind of a necessary evil, and that's several $100s per month.
So Wedding Expo costs $400 to have a table for 3 hours, but if you do something like a craft fair or an art fair or something like that, it could cost as low as $20 to $50 for however many hours or a full day. So you might want to look into something like that if you want to be marketing yourself. Other things would be an accountant, the gas money to get to where you're photographing, insurance for your gear, as well as other fees if you want to pay for Facebook ads and things like that. But 10 years ago, in 2010, I started charging $150 an hour for portraiture. Once you're comfortable and you photograph friends and you know how to pose people and you know how to work your camera and you know how to do everything, edit photos and all of that, and you've already maybe assisted some professionals and you feel comfortable, I would start maybe around $200, I would say, or $250. Because as a business, the lowest price you should be charging for a portrait session for 1 hour is $350. And the reason that we have kind of base prices like that as businesses and as freelancers is so that the photography industry doesn't dissolve, because we did already lose different areas of that as a possibility for a full-time career, such as stock photography and things like that that our professors had worked in. Recently, we've been working 7 days a week, and that's definitely been the trend for this year in our 10th year of wedding photography. So we did work through Christmas week. We photographed 4 huge sessions during Christmas week, and we are currently editing those. So, and we're both sick right now, and we still have to edit because when you have a client, you have deadlines, and you have to uphold those, or else people will not hire you in the future. And they've also already paid you. You want to be paid up front, and most of the time you want to have a contract for that. For us, we do get to set our schedule, so we can sleep in a bit if we want, and then we're going to have to work later in the evening. The end of the year gets very busy with our clients. They're ordering products, and we're printing and packaging and shipping or delivering all of those out to them, and we've been doing that. When we did actually photograph a wedding in Italy 3 months ago. So we got to take the beginning of our trip for a week and a half and just travel around Italy and stay in some Airbnbs, and we got all of our airfare paid for. We got our lodging paid for at the villa that we photographed, and we also got to relax. As you can see, travel, it sounds romantic and it's amazing, but at the same time, there's a lot of hassle that comes with that.
Yeah, it's not. Unfortunately, with things like Instagram and influencers and all that, showing all the places they travel and all the fun. Not to say that travel isn't fun, but when you are doing it for work, there's an added level of stress that those posts and those people online don't really portray.
There's positives and negatives to having the ability to set your own schedule. And then as it pertains to your job and career and it being fulfilling, you can create as you go. So you don't have a boss telling you how to do your job, but there will be clients that may try to tell you how to do your job. So the positive is that you kind of control that, and it's in your hands to be a mature adult and be able to set those boundaries of, I'm the professional and you can have some input, but at the same time, at the end of the day, you're the one taking the photos. So through photography, you can also get better at your craft while you're working. So you come out with a skill set. So even if you didn't end up doing this forever, you'd come out with a skill set that is fun and you can use in your everyday life. We take personal photos that are pretty crazy, and they're fun and weird on the side. As a freelancer, you would definitely have more time to do your own personal projects that may be passion projects. They may make an impact definitely more on the world than just a couple people.
Yeah, and a lot of people that we know that exclusively do freelancing do get to, when you get to a certain level, it gives you the ability to, like Jenny said, work on your passion projects. So something that you find fulfilling is something that you can really focus on and kind of make a body of work based around that. With what we do, we're more so shooting for clients all the time. So while we get to put some of our input into it, it's a little less of ourselves and more of what people are paying us to make.
But at the same time, your images, if you're making them of real people, real families, real couples, those are going to be lifelong memories and photos that they cherish. And if you are printing, you want to print them in a quality way so that they can actually physically have those photos for the rest of their lives. A con would also be, it's not a stable paycheck for freelancers, so you may not want to do this for very long because there is such a high amount of work that goes into it, and then the payout may be a little lower. We work far more than our friends that work 9-to-5 jobs for corporations, and we make less than them. But at the same time, we have more control. It is a scarce thing for people to make a lot of money at photography anymore. There are really good cell phones out that people think, oh, well, why would I have professional photos taken? My cell phone does just as good of a job as a camera, which is not true at all. But people think that's true. So that's the one thing you're going to come in contact with. Also, mom-tographers and Uncle Joes. These are older people who are retired and they have a lot of money, and they pick up a camera, having never taken a photography class, and they're going to think, I have fancier gear and I have more money than you, so obviously that means I'm better, which is not true.
Yeah, one thing that you have on your side is, even in being in the class that you're in now, it gives you a leg up on people that, might have nicer, fancier, more expensive equipment. And the fact that you know how to work the equipment better, you know how to get better results out of what you're working with and the lighting. And that should really help you above other people that just have confidence and no experience.
Yeah, the education is key. So keep studying in your class, keep learning, keep being open. And if you don't know how to do something, ask and work at it, because your skills and what you know, you're already far ahead of Instagrammers that are in middle school that have a nice camera that their parents bought them. They may look cool online and they may be traveling a lot and following people around, but at the end of the day, they're probably taking home no money because they're spending so much on their travel and their outfits and the clothing and everything that goes into that. So just remember that what you see online may not necessarily be it may not pan out to anything. Like, people may not be making much money at it. So if you actually want to be serious about this, try not to think of it as you becoming a celebrity and more so you serving the community or the world in a visual way.